Happy Tuesday. We are Fili Creative. We are an audiovisual company based in Salina, Kansas. And my name is Gus.
I'm Amber.
I'm drinking my coffee. I'm Tim.
And yeah, welcome to our daily vlog. We're doing this to keep ourselves busy during the coronavirus shutdown. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you are safe and well wherever you are in the world. Just a quick update as of where we are today, but I don't know if I mentioned the date. It's actually March 31st, last day of March 2020. As of today, the coronavirus, this is data from the New York Times, and they say it has sickened more than 772,000 people across the planet, and at least 37,000 people have died. So in the United States, if I move over to the United States map, so far we've got about 3,000 deaths in the United States, and that is of about 163,500 people
Holy cow.
infected. So there are some little bits of good news. It appears that social distancing is having some effect.
That's good.
In our local area here, Kansas, there appears to be the death rate is staying the same or going up still, but the amount of new infections every day has stabilized. And so
good.
we had, I think we had 57, 58, and then 59, and then back to 58 yesterday of new infections. So that's good. There's a bad case here in Kansas where a retirement center in Burlington has been infected with 18 people there infected with the coronavirus. So yeah, lots of crazy stuff.
I saw a video yesterday that was I don't remember where it was at, maybe New York or something. Actually, I think I might have seen it on Last Week Tonight, the newest episode. A lady was talking about how they're now using like refrigerated trucks and like skating rinks as makeshift morgues. Because of the amount of death that's been around.
Yeah, it's no good. I think there's some reason for optimism. I think we don't want to be afraid, but we kind of do need to, even when things do get better, we have to still take it seriously. I'm a little bit worried that we're going to get things relatively under control, and then everybody's going to want to go out and have big parties. And the problem is that
that's going to make
there'll
it
be
worse.
another wave.
Right.
Yeah, and so we have to continue taking this thing seriously for a long time to come if we want it to stay away or go away and stay away. So
well, the ones that I'm most concerned about are churches, really.
Yeah,
because
thankfully most churches seem to be taking it pretty seriously. There was a church in Florida in which a megachurch pastor, 4,000 person megachurch, told his congregation that I don't care what the government says, we're essential.
Right.
And so he ended up getting arrested for that.
I saw that
yesterday. So,
which
that's
just crazy.
There are people that are going to take that as so. There. I'm probably going to get some flack for this, but
let's hear it.
There are so many people that I know that are of the Christian faith that typically are of a older age group, that when stuff like that happens, they go screaming and saying that Christians are being persecuted. And that's not the case with this. I mean, it's not the case really ever right now. This is not like the Romans persecuting Jesus. It never has been, but I just know there's going to be people out there that are going to say that specifically like the right to assemble under God is going to be under attack because of this, which is not what's happening. It's
we're trying to keep you alive,
right?
Take
Precisely.
it or leave it.
There are still ways to
still get together and all die. Then
the
whatever.
sheriff or the judge, I can't remember, who issued the order to arrest that pastor. He had a really good response to that guy, and that guy was basically saying, hey, "Who are you to tell me that religion or that not religion, but church isn't essential?" And the sheriff or judge, I forget which, said, it says in the Bible to love your neighbor, and you're not loving your neighbor by inviting people to congregate and you're not helping your neighbor by sending out people that have been in touch with hundreds of other people into the world. You know, these things are not Christian things to do, and I think that person had a great point.
That's a pretty good response.
Yeah. I mean, it's still faith based, so the guy should be able to respect that.
Right. Well, especially like it's not like you can't worship under this. You can still like I know a lot of churches who are doing virtual sermons. There's already been churches who do that already anyway.
Right.
Our church did it before, and now that's exclusively what we're doing.
Which is a smart way to do it because I mean, there's no reason to not go back to going to regular church services after this, but to be smart about it. You know.
Definitely.
Because I feel like that is an area in which people are going to flock back to and go to immediately.
I'm
and I
kind of
think
worried
that's
about
going to
Easter,
cause.
honestly.
You worried about what?
Easter.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned because I know
because that's going to be like right on the tail end of like the majority of the quarantine, and people are going to jump the gun and try to go back to church.
Here in Kansas, you know, our quarantine won't be over. At least, in Salina, our quarantine won't be over till a couple weeks after Easter, and so at least all the churches I'm aware of are just going to do it online and hope for the best.
Yeah, I think my folks' church are going to do their Monday Thursday service online.
Yeah.
This year, which is good.
I was supposed to help with our church's Monday Thursday. We were going to do a really, you know, high production value shoot kind of thing, and the pastors called it off after the new stay-at-home order came down, which I think was absolutely the right call. So
the Kansas Department of Health put out that video, the doctor talking about churches and how like
was that the one that you sent?
Yeah, just because you go to church doesn't make you immune to this. He pretty much told everybody to stay home on Easter. It doesn't matter.
Well, that's the thing is that, you know, no matter how much you pray, it's not going to keep you from getting it. If you're still, you know, if you're not practicing social distancing, then you're at a higher risk regardless. And depending on whether you are faith-based or not, you know, there's a certain amount that a lot of people feel prayer does. And if it, you know, if you feel it works for you, then by all means do it, but be smart and keep in consideration that, you know, it's...
Yeah. Somewhere in the Bible it says you should not put your God to the test. And, you know, by not, you know, being smart, you're essentially doing that. You know, you're essentially saying, like, God, I don't think this thing is real, so protect me. Ha! You know, and you can throw yourself off a cliff. Right. But that doesn't mean that God's going to save you from dying at the bottom of the cliff. You know, it's the same thing here. Yeah, it's just common sense, people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now that we've gotten our religious discussion out of the way.
Yay! Welcome to Fili Religion.
Well, we do have to start making that the ethics of videoism. So that's our new religion, our new cult.
That's a great cult.
I came up with that on the fly.
I claim no responsibility for this.
What?
I claim no responsibility for this cult.
You're the leader, Gus. You have.
Are you kidding me? You hired him. You're the man. You're in charge, obviously.
No.
But I've already done the ritual Kool-Aid, sacrifice folks. Of the VHS tape.
I'm more than happy to supply the Kool-Aid, but it is just Kool-Aid.
Oh man, I haven't had Kool-Aid since
forever. Well, man. Wow.
Actually, technically, I did have it on the Super Bowl because I was at a friend's house and they had made Kool-Aid. I hadn't had it since I was a kid before that. So
yeah.
Okay, so what is your favorite powdered drink?
Favorite powdered drink? Ooh.
I'll throw mine out there. Mine is hot apple cider. I love me some hot apple cider.
That is good. Oh man, that's tough. I would say it either has to be between like the hot apple cider or oh man. There are about 3 that are contending in my brain right now. And it's cider, hot cocoa, and like pink lemonade.
Nice.
It's like every time when I went to my grandma's, when I
froze.
Pink lemonade.
Oh yes, love pink lemonade.
Yeah, man. Like when I was growing up, every time I went to my grandma's house, she had pink lemonade, like specifically for the grandkids. And so, like, I associate that not only just with the taste of it, but like with her and with being there.
And that's nice. That's
what
really
are we
nice.
considering a powdered drink? Because, like, for me, anything you can like add to water and make a drink out of, or
sure.
Yeah, you can do those.
Because like hot cocoa is like my leading contender, but I like it with hot milk instead of hot water. So I don't know if that counts.
I don't know that I've actually never made it with hot
counts.
milk.
Totally
I grew up putting water in it, so I know it's richer and thicker with milk, but
I was also thinking Nesquik and chocolate milk because God, I love chocolate milk.
In Australia and New Zealand, they have a beverage called Milo, and it's actually a Nestle product. Huh. It's a specific one, and it's roughly equivalent to our hot chocolate, but you always put it in milk. You're not supposed to really put it in water, I don't think, and it is very, very good, very, very good.
I would have to try some of that.
You can actually buy it here in the States. You can see it in that same part of the grocery store.
So, okay, cool. I will have to try that sometime. Yeah. Kind of been going on line with that and just thinking about, I don't know, it makes me think about breakfast. Do you have like a favorite cereal or favorite like breakfast?
I'm a Cocoa Puffs guy. Okay.
If I'm eating cereal, it's not for nutritional value. Let's be real. Like, I am a fan of like Captain Crunch. Like, give me the sugar.
Yeah.
See, I like the. I do love me some Captain Crunch, but I specifically like just like the little yellow squares. Like, I will buy the bag of just that when I get those. But
like Chex or
no, like Captain Crunch. So, like, you know how they have like the little berries.
Oh, okay. I get you.
So you can get it without the berries, actually.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong. If we're going purely for non-nutritional value, it would either be Captain Crunch with just the yellow squares, or like Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Fruity Pebbles.
I love the Lucky Charms marshmallows.
Oh man, I haven't had those in eons.
That's definitely not nutritional.
No, especially like I believe there was a time where you could buy just a box of
you could.
That was terrible. Someone was.
Yes, yes. Dentists all over the world just cringed.
It's like eating cotton candy with milk. I think if we're going for pure, like, typically these days, I kind of prefer like nutritional value cereals. Like, just I also like the taste of them. So like, I'm one of those people who actually likes Raisin Bran.
You and Hannah.
Y'all are crazy.
Hannah does also?
Yep, Hannah does it also.
Oh man,
she's a Raisin Bran gal.
I like me some Raisin Bran. I like Life cereal.
I like Life cereal. I like to eat Life plain. Like, I'll just sit there with a box of it and just...
I hadn't thought about that, but that's a good plan. That or muesli. I love muesli.
What is that?
I don't think I know.
So, it's still typically like a cereal type thing. I don't know if... I want to say that's also like an Australian type thing. That I first heard about it because of Fly the Conchords, because they mentioned it in one of their songs. And I think that, like, one of my improv buddies, his brother lives in Australia and works there, and that's what they typically eat for breakfast. But so it's basically like, it's kind of like a combination of a little bit of oats and like some nuts and raisins, and like kind of like some cornflake type stuff in there. I don't know. I think it's typically more like the high fiber or high kind of type of cereal, but it tastes fantastic. It's probably my actual favorite cereal. Like that would be like a step above Raisin Bran for me.
Wow. I congratulate you. No, that's good.
Thank you.
You're self-realized cereal addict.
When I buy it. These days I typically do my old man breakfast, which is oatmeal and a banana and black coffee. Coffee.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't know what I was gonna say. Forgot. Not important.
Are you trying to cut back on your cereal addiction?
I'll cut. No, I don't. I'll just cut this part out. All right. What else can we talk about?
I had another question. Is there something that you guys have what's something you guys have always wanted to do? Like big or small?
Ooh, yeah, that's good. I've always wanted to build a model railroad, and I've begun the process, but I still have plenty of work to do to even be able to call it a railroad. So
the good news is that could be another project for you.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Quarantine project.
Yeah.
Yep. Depending on how long it goes, I may not get to it if this only lasts another month. But if it goes longer than that, then it's entirely possible.
Ugh. I can't even imagine this going longer than that. Like, we've already been in quarantine for 2 weeks, and this starts the month for us yesterday. So, like, that's a month and a half of me just staying at home doing nothing. So I should probably figure out what I want to do, like, around the house. But having a baby kind of makes it hard to do things.
Yeah.
The one main project I have.
That's quite a project.
Yeah, the one main project I have is tidying up the cords behind my TV, which I ordered zip ties for. So I'm hopefully going to get on that soon-ish. So but as far as something big or small that have always wanted to do, I'm going to split this in two different factions. One would be that I have always wanted to go to the Grand Canyon.
Oh, it's
I've never been.
It's nice.
I believe it. Like everything I've seen, it looks fantastic, and
it's amazing. It is like crazy how big it is. Like everyone's like, "Oh, it's huge."
Can't even comprehend how big it is.
You can't even comprehend how big.
Like, and it's like you're looking at a giant picture of something.
Yeah,
because
it truly is.
You can move, but it doesn't move because it's so far away.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's weird.
That's something amazing. I would love to go visit. Like especially like in the last few years, I have gained a love for hiking, and so like that, or going hiking in a legit forest would be fantastic. But on a different scale, like, so for me, since I'm an actor, I have several dream roles that I would love to play. Amongst those are Tevye from Fiddler on the Roof, or Laser Wolf. I would take either one of those. I would love to play the principal in Matilda, because typically played by a man.
Mrs.
Trunchbull.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That is a fantastic role.
I would love to play that role. Also, the mother in Hairspray. Typically played by a man.
John Travolta.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would be a fantastic Enda Turnblad. I'm trying to think. There are other specific ones that I know I want to be, but I can't think of them at the moment. Those are like my top ones. I would actually. I was listening to the album Jesus Christ Superstar this morning from the actual from the movie musical, because the Broadway cast that I have an album of, I don't care for their version for whatever reason. And King Herod's song is absolutely hilarious. And I don't know, like, I think that would be a fun role to be. Like, it's not in there very much. It's just like for that one song. And like I experienced that when I did Rocky Horror. I got to play Eddie, which was Meatloaf's character in the movie. And he's on for his one song, and that's it.
I think
okay.
I'll say I think a thing that I would want to do, that I've been wanting to do forever, is travel overseas. I've never been overseas.
You should.
So.
If we're going that way, I do want to go to Ireland and Scotland, specifically Scotland.
I've always wanted to go to Germany.
The closest I've been is when we went for our international choir tour. We were in Frankfurt, but technically we were only in the airport.
Right.
I didn't have a good experience in that airport either.
There was a guy who was the biggest jerk you can imagine in town. Just inappropriate, just bad person. Just a very bad person.
So, as I understand, picture, first of all, you have to picture, at the time, I had just my goatee. So, I assume that, I guess that makes me look more shifty. But so, like, almost all of us were through, like, customs or security at that point. Right. This guy took one look at my passport and then told me to step aside. and just to wait there. And he wouldn't tell me why. And I was getting a little frantic because I'd never dealt with that before, and he was giving me no
and literally
reason.
The rest of the choir was on the other side of the border. Oh, sorry. The rest of the choir was on the other side of the border.
You're good.
And it's like Tim and Ken Hakoda. And yeah, it was awful. He just kept working on other people. He never would give you the common courtesy of just figuring out whatever your problem was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I as I was told later, it was a quote random spot check, unquote. But
usually they just do those and send you on your way. They don't make you stand around for 20 minutes.
Right. He made me wait for a half hour, and then they took me to this back room where they put me in a machine and patted me down and searched my bag.
Neat.
So, evidently, I looked super shifty.
It definitely came across to all of us that were there watching. They were just picking on you for no good reason, and that was just totally inappropriate. It
was not cool. I was not happy.
Ugh.
No.
That was
on the positive side, we got to fly on an A380, the world's biggest plane.
Yeah, the Lufthansa.
Cool.
Yeah, and that was really cool because that plane is stinking
massive.
Huge.
One of those that's got 3 sections of seats.
Yeah, and 2 floors, 2 complete floors. Yep. And my favorite thing was that they had cameras in the tail, facing down, facing forward, facing left, and facing right. So the whole trip, you could on your screen on the seat back in front of you, you could look and see what's below you.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm always seated in the center section, so you don't have a window.
Right.
So that's all you have is
that's pretty neat
usually,
though.
Trying to look out the window. Yeah, so I loved it. It was
that's
really
awesome.
Cool.
Besides it being a 10-hour flight, I had actually never flown at that point in my life.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I was not then, nor am I now, scared of flying. But for me, it's just more. I don't like being cramped for hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. And anymore, it's so bad on flights.
Yeah, they're just trying to cram as many people on a plane as they can.
I did actually before we went on that trip, I made a couple of my friends watch the Nightmare at 30,000 Feet episode of Twilight Zone.
Oh boy, oh.
That sounds scary.
if you have some free time later today, guys, you should watch it. It basically,
I don't know.
It's one of 2 episodes that William Shatner is in, and it's the one there's the something on the wing.
Yeah, I know that episode.
Yeah. One of my favorite episodes, along with actually the other episode that Shatner is in, weirdly, Nick of Time, which is super cool.
You William Shatner fan.
I just love him so much. But look, I don't know. I'm just a huge fan of Twilight Zone. I always have been. But that episode, I made them watch, and one of them was legitimately concerned for the flight. And I don't know why I shouldn't take such delight in that, but I do. Question of the day?
Yeah, let's do a question of the day. That'd be great.
What is something that you really, really like that is really popular now, but in 5 years, everyone will look back on it and be embarrassed that they liked it?
I wear Crocs on a daily basis. And I know it's not socially acceptable now, especially in my house.
But in 5 years, it's going to be especially hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh.
I have never worn Crocs.
That's funny.
They're very comfortable and very functional.
I believe you.
I believe you. I typically wear... I either go with... If I must go outside, then I will wear flip-flops or, slippers that are meant for indoor-outdoor. Those are my go-to first before shoes. The only time I go to shoes specifically is if I'm planning to go for a walk or, out for a longer period.
That makes sense.
I very much... I'm one of those people that I don't like shoes. I would rather go barefoot if at all possible. Much like pants. I don't like pants. I like shorts. I find pants to be very confining. Even though I wear my clothes loosely, I find pants very confining and just not, I have less movement typically.
Right.
So I'm very much a shorts guy in that regard.
I think the things that it's not something necessarily that I like, but it's the first thing that came to mind, is the internal decorating scheme of, like, the live, love, laugh stuff. Yeah. I feel like there's a ton of people that love that stuff, and, like, here in 5 or 6 years, like, all of the people that are our age or a little bit younger are going to be like, what the hell was going on?
It's so cliche.
Right.
Yes.
Isn't there a wall in our office that already has that?
We did.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Okay.
But, yeah. Laugh, love. I wonder what the next generation of wall decor will be. I'll have to go ask the jerk who runs Hobby Lobby and see what he thinks.
I think things are taking a retro.
Yeah. I'm digging that. Like, we're going back to retro. I saw this, like, super awesome kitchen set the other day that had, like, a retro refrigerator and, like, oven, stove top. It was, like, super cool. Super, super neat.
I saw they're coming out with some of those, like, retro refrigerators that look like the ones from, like, the 40s.
Yep, that's
really?
That's what I was talking about. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
I would want one of those.
Like bright colors and everything.
Yep. And they have, like, the little metal latch handle. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's
They're
cool.
pretty cool.
Those are awesome.
I love that idea so much. Like my house. Well, I guess my place is. It has very much that older feeling to it. Like I don't know when my place was built, but just the general decor and like the framing around the doors and stuff.
Right.
It's all older. Like I mean I'm already an old man inside anyway. I always have been. So like all that older stuff I've always adored. Like I'm one of those people like cars. I don't care about at all. Like as long as it gets me from point A to point B and does what I want it to do, I don't care what it looks like. However, there's an exception for that. Older looking vehicles, I love. I love the style. One of my friends in Lawrence, pretty much her entire house is like older like 60s or 1950s type decor. So like the atomic tables and clocks and stuff. Right. It's super cool.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I think that is about it for today's version of the Daily Vlog. Thank you for tuning in. If you liked it, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can get updated as soon as we have a new episode out. So we have lots of stuff coming. We shot a short video. Well, actually, Tim and Amber shot a short video over at our office before before we started working from home, and I recorded a little narration tour of that. It's just a couple of minutes, so that'll be coming out on the YouTube channel sometime this week. Also, possibly some more video games and other stuff coming as well. I'm about to embark on a rather large project in our garden, or for our garden. We're basically building a new garden, so there'll be some videos about that, and yeah, just lots of fun stuff coming. So thanks a lot for tuning in, and have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.